class, Nachiketa enjoys a good self-image. There is self-satisfaction as to the life he has lived. There is some self-esteem for himself. And he knows how to evaluate the situations. Very objectively he looks at the situation. He is a two-step therapy that Father said there is something out of his own anger and non-thinking, not that there is something wrong with me. Having contemplated this within himself, he comes to conclusion. Bhagavan Bhashyakara connects. There are so many things missing in between. Bhashyakara connects the mantras. Nunam krodavashad uktavan pita. Indeed, Father has told this only out of anger. Tathapi, even then, pituhu vachanam nusha mahamut. Let the statement of the Father may not be falsified. Let it not turn to be untruth. Iti matva, iti paridevayanchakara. He thought like this, then goes to his father and tells, what? Shokavishtam pitaram kim maya, shokavishtam pitaram kim maya uktamiti. Just as Nachiketa contemplated, he had a time, went alone to seclusion and contemplated that how come this statement was made, his father also came to senses. What did I say this? And he was Shraddhalu. It is not that he ordered to give away dilapidated cows. So he himself was repenting. Kimmaya uktamiti. What did I say this? How come such words slipped out of my mouth? I shouldn't have uttered these words. And he was himself in a grief. Father was in a grief. To that father, Nachiketa says this. Look at that next mantra. Anupashyatha purve pratipashya tatha pare sasyamiva martyah pachyate sasyamiva jayate punah. He says anupashya yatha purve. Anupashya means just try to remember and see. Please bring back to your memory and see what yatha purve, how our purve forefathers lived, how they conducted themselves. Pratipashya tatha pare. Apare means those others who are alive now, Shishta Janaha, who are respected in a society. How the others respected in a society conducts themselves. Anupashya. Please see. Meaning thereby, our forefathers always abided by truth. Implying that our forefathers never compromised, never backtracked about anything once they said anything. That means truthfulness or keeping one's own words is a virtue that has been followed in our clan. Our forefathers always followed it. And those people who count in your perception, your accountable people, whom you look up to it, whose opinion you value, they are also truthful. They also keep their words. They were maintained so far. And therefore, hold on to your words. But first thing, therefore, hold on to your words and send me to Yogaloka. Secondly, what do you get out of this? Even if I don't go, Sasyamiva martyah pachyate, sasyamiva abhijayate punaha. Martyah. Martyah means any living being, conscious being, to be honest. Martyah technically means marana dharmavan. One who it is in its nature to die. The one which will come to end. Anything that is born will come to end. Jatasya dhruvo mrityuh. So everybody is martya. All jivas are martyas. So that martya or anybody who is born is what? Sasyamiva pachyate. Sasya means what? Like the weeds, like those mushrooms. The mushrooms and weeds, when there is little rain, suddenly come out of the land. And suddenly they become mature. And suddenly they die. Here pachyate is in a sense of, I think now you can open the window. It was only in the morning. Yeah, it's better. So life is too short, like the weeds and mushroom that come up in monsoon. They live for some days, they survive for some days, and then they perish. Okay? These mushrooms and weeds. Sasyamivaha ajayate. Not only they perish, they are born again. It's a cycle, So, life itself is not lasting. Suppose you don't hold on to your words. What will I get? I may live for some time. But that life that I will get, so-called sometime life, is so fickle, so temporary. It is fickle and temporary as mushrooms. And thereafter again, you are going to be born again. So, by not honoring your words, you are not going to benefit anything. Okay? This is what he says. Two things. Father came back to senses and he was regretful, sort of resentful also, not simply regretful. And he, see this, how powerful, how pavitra the kulam must be, his family, lineage. That such a young boy has this value which he reminds to father. Like yesterday somebody asked, why we have two sets of behavior, one for ourselves and one for others. This is another example. There is a conflict. Not that his father did not know. Fact that he became resentful shows that his father had a feeling that now I should be sending him because I spoke. Had he been like Duryodhana, or had he been like our ministers, even though it was on live TV, he would have said, I never said, I never meant that way. There is a misunderstanding. The media is after me. And if it was AAP and other party, Modi is after me. Modi wants to dislodge our government. BJP wants to eat away, blah, 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 all this. They don't have a slightest of resent, slightest of regret. What did they say? Fact that this person has a regret, that means there is a conflict. That means there is a value for truth. The truth becomes as though clouded in mind because of attachment for self, karma for self. Understand? It was a desire. So that's a pressure. Otherwise he would have immediately said, come on now, go. I told you to go. I have given you a walk it down. Go, get lost. But he is waiting. What to do, what not to do. So, this two sets of values. One universal value that is known to everybody, and one when you want to compromise or when you don't want to follow the value, it is always because of some other value. What's the value? I love my son. I cannot afford to lose my son. He is a good son. Something like that. Some way out in between. Okay. Now one more thing here, I just want to bring to your notice about our culture, about the heritage. What Nachiketa told to his father, Anupashya yatha purva. Look at our forefathers. So same thing I am telling to you. Okay, look at our forefathers. This country, the highest respect to your value was Satya and Ahimsa, truthfulness and non-violence. Though this statement, Chaupai of Ramcharitmanas is very famous, Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aayi, Prana Jai Par Vachan Jai. That is okay. Even before Raghukul, Nachiketa was there. And Nachiketa himself quotes the forefathers. So imagine the value for Satya. I can quote so many shlokas from Mahabharata and Ramayana that you should speak truth. It is most punyashali karma to speak truth, and it's the greatest sin to speak untruth. The whole Mahabharata, if you look around, so many things, the whole story takes a turn just because of Satyavachana. Draupadi marrying to 5%. Kunti says, let my Vakya be truth. Even before that, this Deva Vrata, our Bhishma, gave a word to his stepmother's father, his step-grandpa. Devavrata, Satyavati's father, was a fisherman. It seems the story is the father, his Devrata's father, Shantanu fell in love with a fisherman. His wife had died. And when he on a Valentine Day, okay, he proposed to her. When he proposed her, she said, I have to take permission from my father. Even she had that sense, fisherwoman. I have to ask modern girls. When a boy proposes, at least think that, let my father should permit me. So he said, you go and meet my father and ask for my hand. He went, and then his father put a condition that my daughter's son should get the kingdom. You are the head prince because the oldest. Then he says, I give up my right to the kingdom. Then that cunning fellow said, he was very cunning, he said, you may give up, but it's as per the Hindu government law, any hereditary property, everybody has a claim, but your children may claim. Then he says, I will not marry. Then he says, you will not marry and you give up claim and your children will not claim, but you are so powerful, nobody can beat you. You are so powerful. So you will not let my children stay. And they will give up and give you. You will harass them so much. And he says, till my last breath, I will protect the king of the Hastinapur. His 3 vows he gave. That it was so much harsh on himself. So he got a title Bhishma. Otherwise his name is Devrata. Our Vallabhbhai Patel, one of the nationalist freedom fighters, led the people so well that he got a title Sardar. Sardar Vallabhbhai. Now nobody says Sardar Vallabhbhai, everybody says Sardar. Yes. Similarly, it was Bhishma Devavrata. But Devavrata got lost and we all know him as Bhishma. He kept the word. After marriage, suppose he would have said, forget it. Who cares? Even his father would have supported him. He was so dear to his father. He was so virtuous. Even Dasharatha had promised something sometimes to Kaikeyi. Just think of this. If Dasharatha had refused to honor the word, in which court Kaikeyi would have appealed? You can't challenge it. He would have refused. He would have refused that I gave you word. And he would have refused as well, even though I gave, but I don't want to give. So much so, he was so, this is Maryada, you know, when you have Maryada, it is like a handbrake. It can't let you do certain things. When you live a life of Maryada, he must have lived Maryada of truth. He tells Kaikeyi, what are you asking? Please ask something else. I can't live. He says, I'll die and you will be a widow. I can't live without Rama. She doesn't budge. When Rama comes, she sends a word for Rama, and Rama comes. He saw his father lying on the floor, the king on the floor. He said, what happened to my father? Mother, what happened? But nothing. I just asked one boon and he fainted. She talks so casually. He said, what? She doesn't say 14 years. Navapanchacha varshani vanam. 9 and 5. If you don't say 5, you want to say 2, 3. But you don't say straight away 5. See, she doesn't say 14. She says 5, 9 years. He asked him that you may go to forest. It is good you will have some darshan of Sant Mahatma, sadhus. Until then you are away, somebody has to rule. I said, Bharata will rule. It's casual. The king overhears and the king tells him, Oh Rama, I have said yes to Kaikeyi, but you disobey. I can't. What a helplessness. That the value, Maryada that he put on himself, he says, I have said yes to this Kaikeyi and I have to give. But you exercise your freedom, you are not bound by the words to Kaikeyi. So you refuse her. Rama says, that's true, father, but I am bound by Pitruvakya Paripala. I will go so that your Mrushama Bhuttvad Vachanam, your statement may not turn to be false or untrue, therefore I will go. And I have to honor my father's words. So therefore I am going. And he goes there. Mahabharata 3-4 times. There is a very beautiful story in this. They were 3 and 2 brothers, Pandavas, Kunti and Madri. Pandu had 2 wives. This Nakul and Sahadev were the son of Madri. Their uncle, Mama, maternal uncle, was on the way to meet these Pandavas that I had to support. I will be there with you with my army. This Duryodhana came to know. All along the way, he made all arrangements for him to stay and the retinue and the food and everything. They all asked him. He kept asking the servant, who has done this? They all said, some Raja has done it and has told him not to tell. So he presumed it could be none other than Yudhishthira. In his wildest dream, he couldn't imagine that there would be somebody else who did it. On the last leg of journey, he said, tell me the name and call your master. Who is he? Duryodhana comes. Sir, I have done it. And he, before telling this, he tells to servant, call your master. I want to repay this hospitality and I'll give one boon to him, whatever he wants. Call him. Duryodhana comes. He was a great Sarathi, driver for chariot, one of the best. Duryodhana says, you promised to my servant, now please drive Karna's Ratham. The one, Karna, who was the one who was destined to kill Arjuna, and he holds on to the word. He goes to Krishna and almost cries, I'm so helpless. They tell, yes, you should honor the word. That is the culture. last but not least, in our culture, this engagement business, now the ring exchange and Rupionali, another 2, 3 in between now. There used to be only one. After the engagement, the woman is called Vak-datta. Vak means Vachya Datta. She has been given by speech, not by Vidhi, to this man. And that simple Vidhi, where the future bride's brother or father promises the man and his father that I will marry my daughter to you. That's all it is. I remember when I was young, you cannot break the engagement. विवाह तोड़ मैंने विवाह के गुजराती में विवाह भोग करे એટલે સમાજમાં ખરાબ દેખાય because you have committed. Once you give a word, you must marry. And I remember a couple of girls and the boys who broke the engagement and they couldn't find the new one so easily. And now 2, 3 is minimum before they pass out. And then there is a final one. And they each other are, both are same. He also has 1 or 2, she also has 1 or 2. There is no respect for one's words. That was a respect. Therefore in India, we never had a marriage certificate. Even now, of course of late it has improved. The South Indian priests, they go abroad. When they go to US embassy, they ask, what's a marriage certificate? Poor Brahmin, Iyengar, all guys doesn't have anything. They will have Chunnu Munnu. These are the certificates. No certificates. They have to create, go to court and affidavit and all that.
That's what happens.
There are so many people in village in those days, they don't know. I am sure my father didn't have a certificate. I have not come across so far. I check up with my older brothers. Nobody has seen. They don't care. Even engagement is enough. Once I promise you, it is over. That was a culture, And now, this fellow, father has this conflict, and Nachiketa is telling it is not a simple statement. Example I gave when mother is doing some daily chore and tell, go to hell. He told at the time of giving dakshina, he has taken a sankalpa. Now I will give all this dakshina to Brahmana. And he used to speak to such and such a Brahmana, this cow, this cow, and there he said, Yamaraja, this well. So, even the word spoken any time has to be honored, but the word spoken as a part of yajna must be honored. That is what he is thinking, Dakshina Samaya Sankalpa. That being a case, he has a conflict. Should I or should I not? This is the value for truthfulness, This is, and 2 things we need to learn about it, See, today we often say, what is wrong in telling little lie? It's okay. That second set of value comes because convenience is a value. My convenience, value for my comfort. And parents unknowingly teach children to be untruthful. A typical Indian home. On a weekend, the daddy is in the morning in a leisurely mood, reading newspaper and sitting, and then there's an Indian great guy. Supposedly to do Sandhya Vandana and do the bath, but 9 o'clock he is reading newspaper and asking for second cup of tea, and she is shouting, you take a bath, I want the clothes. And then suddenly phone rings. A child loves to pick up the phone. And he goes, he tells, hello? Hello? And that fellow says, Munno, how are you? Munno says, fine. Tama kaun bolo? Who are you? That uncle says, I am Ramesh uncle. Papa at home? Give it to Papa. And you know what Munnu said? Uncle, Papa says Papa is not at home. Ramesh Kaka, Papa says Papa can't. Correct? The child learns to be untruthful from that age. Creating a split. You see, one of the reasons why people have stress in business, because you cannot trust the word. The buyer, the seller is in stress because cannot trust whether he will repay me or not. And the buyer is also in a stress whether the goods are worth the quality that is talked about or not. You often feel it is every good is like a Chinese product. You don't know whether it will last or not. Stress. Whole society is in stress. When the person is truthful, is straightforward, you can just take the person on face value. When you take the person on face value, you are relaxed. Why you feel at home with a spouse and a family members? Because you can take them on face value. And now, even with the spouse, there is a problem. Swami used to say, after 25 years on the Golden Jubilee, she tells, I love you. He tells her, I love you. She says, really? She cannot take him on the face value. Really, you love me? She said, how? That's all. Even there we have lost the trust. And losing the trust is a stressful life. See, once you discover, typical parents, when a teenage boy or girl is telling lie, when here and didn't tell us this, they are stressful, where he must be going. I can take him on all stress. The dependability is lost. All the problems today are because truthfulness is not there. The culture was there. Nachiketa has so much value. What will you get out of this? If you speak untruth, the split, the person becomes splintered when you say untruth. Because all of you know this, because you know what you should be doing and you do just the opposite. So there is a split between knower and doer. Knower is the same and doer is same, but you create two out of one. I am the knower and I am the doer, but I split myself. And first I deliberately become the opposite doer. The doer deliberately is opposite to knower. Later on habitual opposition doer. That's a split, then that's a worse calamity. See, compromising values, we create a split in ourselves. And the culmination of split is a worse calamity in our life, that I cannot live to my own decisions. That's a Duryodhana. Janami dharmam nachame parvati. That's a split. When I fail to honor myself, the decision, that decision which I took in a very, very calm and quiet, deliberate mood, I deliberated upon and took a decision. And when it comes to implementation, I cannot implement the decision with myself. That is the worst thing to happen. And that will add to the guilt, I am useless, one more. I want to do, but I cannot do this. And I cannot do this becomes habitual. Because you formed a habit, you should be doing this, and then you formed a habit not doing. That is split. So, Nachiketa was a together person. You can add this. Look at how the seeker should be there. In the previous class I told, the seeker should have self-esteem and should have self-respect and should have self-value, should have self-love. And that is possible only when you are a non-splinter person. That means you live an ethical, value-based life. Therefore, there is a Vakya, Sarvam Satya Pratishthitam. This world's Pratishtha, the substratum of the world is truth. That is both ways. Brahman is Satyam and Vyavahar also Satyam. One. Second quality, which will be elaborated later on in various mantras, where Nachiketa answers Yama's question. See the Vairagya. He has a dispassion to the entire life. A child, 5 to 8 years old, even if I speak untruths, what will I get? Some short life, some short existence. It is like those weeds. So the fickleness of the life is known to Nachiketas. Life is very fickle. That Shiva Upasana sloka is there, It is so kshanika that by the time you realize it is gone. And he doesn't say, but even when you leave it is full of dukkham. So what do I get? And the Maya is this. People don't see the ephemeral nature of their existence. Anityatvam of the life is so short. Same thing Yamaraja says. They think I am going to live long. And they keep postponing this moksha. So much people are sometimes so dumb. So dumb. I know one person who survived 2 fatal accidents. 2 fatal accidents. Then I tell him, come to class. He tells, today I have to go to bank, so I am not coming. I say, idiot. Already your body is here, Yamaraja has opened the jaw. And he tried twice. But somehow some attention went somewhere else, so he didn't munch you out. Forget the bank and go to afterwards. No, I have to submit paper. I really sometimes feel like giving one to make his mind think a proper thinking. Just don't see. Just don't see that I am living a graceful life. All stupid things. Man will tell, I have to do this. The woman will say, I have to wash the clothes. Bhai, tu abhi dhoa, aaki jat dhoa and jat tana mar navdai. Before you die, you give a bath and you burn the body. We will give you bath now. Go. Doesn't see. Such as absolutely unproductive things. No productive in terms of punya. This daily chore doesn't give you punya. Going to bank doesn't give you punya. Absolutely unproductive things, they waste. This is called whiling away in English. Nachiketa, at the age of 8, understands. Idiot after retirement also doesn't understand. And goes to others' besanas, others to those pratna sabhas. Now only one photo has to change. Dates will better do this. I really feel so pity, and sometimes you love people until you feel, you are so numb, like a child. Idiot doesn't understand. Such a stupid people. Seeker is the one who sees the exigency of this person. Everything afterwards. First is moksha now. Nasiketa doesn't talk of moksha even. Even for Satyam, he says, I have to do this. Having said this to his father, and imagine Nachiketa's maturity. He consoles the father. It should be other way around. Father should console the baby. Come on, baby, it's okay. Since I have said you go, Yama will take care of you, blah, 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 but Punya will work things. He consoles the father. And then there is a connection. which Shankaracharya gives. The next mantra is straight in the heaven. As the story goes, in Taittiriya Brahmana, another section of Veda, there is a detailed description of Nachiketa going to Yamaraj. In Taittiriya Brahmana it is mentioned, there was Akashvani, a divine voice came from the heavens, that Nachiketa and to his father, send him, Nachiketa, go. And then he goes there and tells, the divine voice tells him, don't enter the Yamaloka without the permission. That was a hint given to him. Nachiketa goes there, comes to know that Yama is not in the Yamaloka. He had gone somewhere outside on a tour program. Some business commitment. And this Gujarat was the first one to start this emergency free ambulance 108, our Modi started. And he gave a slogan, 108 ka meaning. One call, zero cost and 8 minutes. Within 8 minutes the ambulance will come. So they planned accordingly. Generally it comes. I also had an experience, it did come. When I met with those accidents, last couple of months ago, it just comes. So when it started, then there was a joke going around, because this was month of, they also planned in January, because March ending you have to show the work. So then the Lord Indra called a meeting of all departmental heads, the Chief General Manager Indra. Boss is Bhagwan, the CEO called the meeting and was reviewing the targets of Vayu Devata, Agni Devata, he was within the month. Yama was lagging behind. Everybody says, Yama, you are too much behind. Your September targets are not fulfilled. Right. Yama said, now I want extra perquisites. What? I cannot work. You have to upgrade me. How can you ask for promotion when you are behind the target? If you have overdone it and exceptionally overdone, we may upgrade you. There is no choice but you have to upgrade. If you want me to do the job, he said, we'll find out somebody else. Nobody will be able to do unless you upgrade. What do you mean by that? You see, Yamaraj, there is a professional hazard. What's a professional hazard? My vehicle is this Mahisha, and I go for a call. By the time Mahisha goes, that 108 goes. The ambulance reaches faster than me, and I cannot take the prana. Then they save him. So you have to upgrade me. Give me a better vehicle. Then I can catch them before 108 comes.
Body.
Your brother says, joke apart, he goes to Yamaloka and then waits for Yamaraja. He was away. And Yama comes after 3 days. When he returned, Shruti jumps to this statement. In between connection, Bhagavan Bhashyakara gives. All the mantras he gives. When he returned, his Yama's ministers and wives advised him this. The statement. Vaishvanarah pravishati Adithir brahmano gruhan Tasyitam shantim kurvanti Haravaivasvatodakam. The last word is Vaivasvata. O son of Vivaswan. Okay, that's why Yama is supposedly son of Surya. Vivaswan means Surya. O Vivaswan, O son of a son, O son of a son. Hara Udakam. You take some water. That's a traditional way of welcoming the guest. honoring the guest. Take water means do argyam and padyam. Traditionally, you have to wash the feet and give some water to the guest. Do that. Why? Why? He says, this Nachiketa is like Vaishwanara fire. A fire, supposedly a fire called wish-fulfilling fire. There are different types of fire mentioned in Vedas. They used to identify also Karmakandi Brahmins and offer oblations accordingly. So it is a wish-fulfilling fire. So please this fire. The guest is like a Vaishwana. And here is a guest, so you should welcome him, honor him. He will fulfill your wishes. More so, Atithi and Brahmana Atithi. Double barrel gun, 303 in those days. This Atithi is a Brahmana and Atithi. So it is extra powerful, like a wish-fulfilling fire. So you please the fire, you offer oblations to the fire, Vaishwanara fire, in the form of this brahmachari called Nachiketa. Okay? And tasyaitam shantim kurvanti. You may please this Vaishwanara fire also. It's in a different sense also. You see, this Nachiketa, yesterday our Guru Sharnaji mentioned one sentence, I don't know whether you caught it or not. When he was sent there, and Yama was not there. Obviously, his ministers and wives would have told him to come in. When they advise our husband to do this, please them, they know the value. But Nachiketa took himself that my father has given away me to Yamaraja. He first of all took himself to be the property of his father. Therefore said, to whom are you giving me away? You are giving me away, you should give me away. So now I am a property of Yamaraja. In other words, I am a servant of Yamaraja. Unless he orders, I shouldn't do it. So he waited outside Yama Bhavanam. Now because Yama was not there, and unfortunately this heaven, they didn't have mobiles. Otherwise FaceTime permission would be granted. Yamaraja would have said, hey Nachiketa, you come, get him. Stay there, I'll come back after a couple of days. I'll see you there, okay, bye. So he stayed there outside. A hungry and a guest, bereft of the necessary or stipulated welcome, is like fire which can burn also. He is a Vaishwana Agni. That Vaishwana Agni can fulfill your wish as well, but it can finish everything as well. That's what his wives, Yamaraja's wife and his ministers tell him. Therefore do proper welcome, satkara, atithi satkara, do whatever proper is to be done. More so Brahmana and Brahmachari. Atithi, Brahmana and Brahmachari. So better do that. This reflects one more cultural value. Not only cultural, it is religious value. This is an injunction in Veda. Matru devo bhava, Pitru devo bhava, Acharya devo bhava, Atithi devo bhava. So the Atithi means one who has no tithi. There is no fixed appointment or date for that person's arrival. That is called Atithi. Who has come unannounced. Anyone coming to your place unannounced is looked upon as the will or the mandate of the Lord. And welcoming that person or serving that person implies indirectly serving the Lord. He just came unannounced. God must have, that Antaryami Parmatma, the Lord residing in the heart, must have led him to here. So I look upon him as a mandate of the Lord. That's why Atithi was respected. Even not Atithi, children are considered as mandate of the Lord. Husband is mandate of the Lord. Wife is a mandate of the Lord. Just comes to your life. And therefore children have these names, so Durga Prasad, Shiv Prasad, Krishna Prasad, all the names. This is a grace of the prasada of the Lord who has come to us. That means Lord wants me to take care of this person. So that is a karma yoga. When you take care of them person as a Ishwararpana buddhi, as an offering unto Lord, that whole upbringing children is karma yoga. Relating to spouse is karma yoga. So you cannot live a life without karma yoga if you want to live a Vedic life, if you understand the Vedic mission. Even professional is karma yoga. Vaidya, those doctors, they looked upon patient as, this is what Lord wants me to do. Therefore they never charged. And they treated him. Therefore there is a statement, doctor only administers the medicine. It is he who cures the patient. Therefore there is a statement, Vedyo Vaidya Sadayo Maha Bishaka. Bishaka is Vaidya. There are thrice in Vishnu Sahasranam, Bhagavan is called Vaidya.
Yes.
The doctor is he. So he gives anta prerana and cures the person. So there was a value that guest should be welcome. And that being the case, as I told you in the morning class, there were no hotels. No lodging, no boarding. Just walk in, go to the guest and stay. That is how the culture was. Of course, don't try to follow that now. What Atithi? Today the days are so bad, you are my Atithi. But government wants your passport. And then I have to take, supposedly I should inform before you land up. But thoda bahut chalta hai apna chota hai. Some connections I can get along. But then, these days you cannot trust. So you have to be, but this was a value, just to know. Okay? So you do welcome, and if you don't do this, what happens next month? Asha pratikshe sangata gum srungatam.
Asha pratikshe sangata gum srungatam.
Okay? Number 8. Asha pratikshe sangatam sunrutam.
Asha pratikshe sangatam sunrutam.
Cheshta purte putra pashumsya sarvan.
Cheshta purte putra pashumsya sarvan.
Etad vrungte purushasya alpamedasah.
Etad vrungte purushasya alpamedasah.
Yasya nashnan vasati brahmano gruhe.
Yasya nashnan vasati brahmano gruhe.
Yasya anashnan vasati brahmano gruhe. Yasya anashnan vasati brahmano gruhe.
Yasya anashnan vasati brahmano gruhe.
Okay. Let's start with the last part of the mantra. Yasya gruhe, in whose house. Okay. Anashnan brahmana vasati, in whose house brahmana guest remains hungry. Goes hungry, not remains hungry. Brahmana can remain hungry by fasting. That's something. This chewing gum has come from Brahmanas. They can eat and they can go hungry. Bubble gum. Their stomach can be like bubble and they can be without food because they are tapasvis, Brahmana used to fast and do tapas also. In whose house Brahmana goes hungry or made to be hungry, to him Etat sarvam vrunte. All this gets destroyed. Okay? To that purushasya of that person, and that person is called alpamedasaha. It's short-sighted person, short-thinking person, immature person. What all goes, he says this. Asha, Pratiksha, this is dual, so it becomes Asha Pratiksha. Rama Krishna becomes Rama Krishna. Then Sangatam and Sunratam. All these gets destroyed, or all these perishes. Okay? In whose house? Thank you, Mr. Mosquito. And baby mosquito must have been on solo flight. Asha Pratikshe Sangatam Sunratam and Cha Ishta Purte. Ishtam and Purtam. Putra Pashu. Putra means children, progeny. Animal means possessions. Sarva. All these gets lost. He loses everything. In one word, he or she in whose house a Brahmana remains hungry, Brahmana guest remains hungry, loses everything. Meaning thereby, this is a Brahmana, this is a guest, they don't know that his father has sent. And he is a brahmachari, has remained hungry for 3 days, he is a tapasvi like Vaishvanara, and you may end up losing all this. So better please him first. Make him happy first. Then you enter the house and then you relax. Okay? Then you meet us. They never met first. Honey, I am here. Honey says to Hana, you better attend this. Now don't come to me. He says to you. Okay, what is this? Asha. Asha means expectancies. Mind is riddled with so many desires, and there are some hopes that these pleasures will come to me, or may such pleasures come to me. Like Swargecha, like American visa. This is Icha. All types of desires people have. That I'll get this in future, let me have this, good husband and wife, and good family, and good money, and all those never will come. Asha will be gone means none of your wishes, backed by efforts or without backing up, wishful thinking, they will get fulfilled. First Asha. Pratiksha. Those pratiksha means you are sure you are going to get. You have put in some efforts and you are sure you will get these benefits hereafter. Like the company has been performing well and every month they are looking at the target and the P&L account, and March 20th they can hope this 31st March will make this much of profit. That type of the hope. The previous one, hope is possibilities. This is certain little possibilities with certainty. Those are just wishful thinking. That is called Asha Pratiksha. In other words, all types of hopes, all types of expectations. Okay? Like you have done the yajna and you expect, yes, this karma phala will come to me. Done some puja, done some tapas, and expect that I'll get this phala because I have put in the necessary efforts. And sometimes mind gets all kinds of fancies. I should have this, I should have this. And in the process, there's a base thing. This is called another asha. Indians have a lot of ashas because they meet astrologer. An astrologer will tell you, after 2022, your kala is best. You are going to be a millionaire. Some of them tell you the date also. The fellow becomes so happy, this is going to happen, These are all ashas. Pratiksha. Sangatam. Sangatam, sukhi, this thinking, there are 3 types of sukha, the vrittis. Priya, Moda, Pramoda. This is Brahmodan. When the wish is actualized and you are in contact with that object, that is another thing, another joy. I remember when we were children, we had Arsha. Sometimes I may have cycle, my own new cycle. It was a big thing. And finally Dad said, when you come to college or university, I think next year I'll get you a cycle. That is called Pratiksha. Now I am on the list. I am going to get it. I am going to get it. And then slowly when he is in mood, you ask, Daddy, come, when will you give it? He said, then they were very, they always had a deal. Provided you get this many percentage in the 11th grade, the fellow starts studying and the result comes. The result comes, that is called Pratiksha. Then you will wait immediately. It is not like modern father, they will be ready with the gift. This is your gift. And then after 15 days they buy. And it comes home and next day you ride it. It is called Sangatam. Mine. You are on the top of the world. 7th heavens, I am driving cycle. Which one? Hercules Ghoda. But that was a joy. Whatever is Asha and Pratiksha, when actualized, and when you experience this object, that is called Sangatam. Again emphasizing the value for Satyam. Yama's wives tells, Yama's minister tells, Sundrutam. When you speak truth and you speak pleasantly, Sundruta Bani, Satyam Vada, Priyam Vada. That also has a lot of punya. All the punyas accrued upon by speaking truth, and that too pleasantly speaking truth, will be finished. Will be as though burned to ashes. Then you don't respect the caste. That too Brahmana, that too Brahmachari, and that too he remained hungry. Better satisfy him. And what else he uses? There is another line, Ishta Purte Putra Pautran Sarvan. Putra Pashupsa Sarvan. That part we will see it in the next class. Tomorrow morning. Om
Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.